Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Boeing is still besting Airbus, FAA's rule over drones is being challenged, manned aircraft pilots are giving guidance regarding drone safety. I'm Bree Cross. It's June 10th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. In the competition between the two airline aircraft supplier giants, Boeing and Airbus, reports indicate that Boeing is still the leader in overall orders for airliners, but Airbus is closing the gap. In a report from Reuters, Airbus took orders for 83 aircraft in May, but remains behind Boeing for overall orders for the year. At the same time, Airbus narrowed the market share gap, albeit slightly, by getting 38% of the net orders for airliners for the first 5 months of the calendar year. Among the orders for Airbus airplanes is one for 60 of its new engine option single-aisle airplanes from an undisclosed customer. The total number of net Airbus orders after adjusting for cancellations is 162. Boeing's order book shows a more robust 234 net orders received in the 5-month period, according to the report. Airbus recently said last week that they are still confident they will meet their targeted 650 deliveries this year. An ongoing court case could have a significant bearing on whether or not the FAA has the authority to regulate consumer unmanned aerial vehicles. The case stems out of the Perker decision, in which an NTSB administrative law judge determined that small drones and model aircraft were not subject to FAA regulations, but in an appeal to that decision, it was determined that the FAA did have the authority to prohibit careless or reckless operation under FAA aircraft rules. Now in a Connecticut lawsuit brought about by Austin and Brett Howat after they were found in violation of FAA rules by the FAA, they claim that an NTSB administrative ruling is not the same as the law and that only a federal court can adjudicate such matters. The Hagwats have refused to respond to an FAA subpoena, to submit documents, and to appear for deposition. Their attorney says they are not required to do so unless ordered by a court. A ruling in favor of the Hagwats could have a significant impact on the FAA's ability to regulate recreational operation of UAVs. After the break, pilots need to be aware in the drone age.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. An organization that operates through the website secureav.com has developed codes of conduct that are directed at all facets of aviation. Out of their Aviators Model Code of Conduct initiative, they have developed a document titled Flight Safety in the Drone Age, also referred to as SFDA. The Safety FSDA guidance is directed at pilots of manned aircraft who may experience unexpected and increasingly frequent encounters with unmanned aircraft. It assumes that pilot awareness and response are necessary where drone safety technologies and rules may not yet have been fully developed or implemented effectively. Pilots are encouraged to review and selectively integrate these recommendations into their operations. The guidance is organized in 5 sections, which are general education and preparation, pre-flight operations, in-flight operations, post-flight operations, and advocacy. Complementing the FSDA is a safety awareness poster and an annotated technical paper providing analysis, perspective, and support. It's Friday, and that means that it's time for ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. Air shows can be the front door to developing someone's interest in aviation. This week, Jim talks about the importance of honoring aviation's true ambassadors from the airshow community and remembering those who we have lost. Here is this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Bree, and hi, folks. Let me reach out and talk a little bit about the incredible loss the aviation industry, in particular the airshow industry, has suffered over the last 3 and some odd weeks. We've lost 3 amazing aviation professionals in accidents in Georgia and in New York and in Tennessee. There is no question that all these are tragedies to the people involved and even tragedies overall to the industry. One of the things I'd like you to think about is this. Aviation is not very positively reported these days. Aviation is accused of all kinds of evils. Aviation is not thought of in the highest possible terms by the media. And yet there are a select group of men and women who go out virtually every weekend of the year, a little slower in the winter, of course, and they show aviation off in the finest possible ways. And it doesn't matter if you're a guy with an S1C and his first waiver showing off the local Okefenokee Airshow, or whether you're Sean D. Tucker, or whether you're Bud Granley, or the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds, or the Blue Angels, or the Snowbirds, or any of the other phenomenal professionals that populate this industry. It is incumbent upon us to appreciate, promote, thank, and push forward spiritually, culturally, politically, promotionally, with all of our might, that the airshow industry is one of the greatest ways aviation has of showing the world how great aviation can be, how great aviators can aspire to be, and most important of all, that the world of aviation is exciting and daring and fun and phenomenal and a little unworldly. I have so many friends in this business, and unfortunately I've lost a great many of them. And yet there's no question that all of them look very strongly to the image that they present. And all I guess I wanted to say was thank you. They're all people putting their best foot forward to show aviation off the best way they can. For that we should be deeply appreciative. For that we should make sure that all these people know how we feel about them. And in every way we can, we should show aviation off as best possible, but nobody, in my opinion, does it in as great a number or as well as today's air show performers. And for the three who have lost their lives in pursuit of showing aviation off in all the greatest ways possible, we thank them. We pray for them. We pray for their families. And we thank God that men and women like this exist. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell, grateful to be part of a proud community.
After these messages, two F-16 fighters collide in a training exercise.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Two F-16s belonging to the 169th Fighter Wing of the South Carolina Air National Guard were involved in a mid-air collision earlier this week during training exercise. It's reported both pilots survived and that no injuries on the ground occurred. 2 weeks ago, Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed terminated airport manager Miguel Southwell, citing long lines at the airport as one reason for the termination. Southwell has now retained an attorney known for handling wrongful termination and whistleblower cases. Samoan-based Talofa Airways will provide air service between Samoa and American Samoa and other Polynesian islands. Their service will start with two 690B turboprop twin commanders configured with 8 passenger seats. A 9th passenger will occupy a cockpit seat. Air Lease Corporation has announced an agreement to sell 25 of its Embraer E190 and E175 aircraft and its fleet to Nordic Aviation Capital. Nordic Aviation Capital is a global leader specializing in meeting the needs of regional aircraft operators. The TrueBlue Power TB44 lithium-ion aircraft battery is now approved for installation on Viking Air DHC-6 aircraft. TrueBlue Power and AvMax recently received a supplemental type certificate for the installation from Transport Canada. They are also awaiting similar U.S. approval. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. As our ANN crew covered the Sun and Fun 2016 event, we could see there was a lot of activity. Now some numbers have come out that give us a more quantified idea of the success of this year's event. It's reported by the event organizers that some 200,000 people from 60 countries attended the 42nd Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo. According to the Sun and Fun website, the annual event has grown into the second largest event of its kind in the world and is Florida's largest annual convention. The 6-day event has been recorded to have a $64 million direct and indirect economic impact on the I-4 corridor in Central Florida. The report also indicates an impressive list of statistics to support their claim. John Linhoutz, President, CEO of Sun and Fun, said in part, quote, "All the proceeds from the fly-in and other events on our Expo campus are reinvested into education programs and activities, including college scholarships used to achieve aerospace-related degrees. As of today, we have awarded over 125 scholarships, soloed over 55 students, and created 49 new private pilots." Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.